0. How you doing, everybody? Let's get rolling with this party. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Oh,
Morning.
thank you, baby. How you doing? Good to see you, Rich. We got Mr. Knolly Williams on here.
Byrd is the word.
Good
What's up,
looking
brother?
fellow right there. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm in sunny San Diego.
Oh, are you? That's beautiful because we don't have that up here.
Well, it's not too sunny today. I got a jacket on, man. It's crazy, dude.
I
Crazy.
see you. I wore a jacket all day yesterday, and I went to the store. Why are you wearing a jacket? I'm like, it's
hilarious. I know. I was like, I didn't get.
I could hear you guys, Nikita.
I was looking at track.
Nikita.
Nikita, mute yourself. Nikita.
We can let Nikita present.
That's right, man. Look at her.
She did-
She's like, I'm gonna turn my camera off now. No,
She
you're
did a good.
not.
No, she did a great job getting me here. She did good.
Oh, well,
She's really
we
good,
appreciate that. Yeah, we couldn't do any of this without her. We know that.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
But don't tell her; she'll get a big head. All right. Well, listen. Good morning. Let's. We've got people will be filming on here as we go. We'll start trickling in. But I want to respect Knolly's time and the people on the call that are here on time. So thank you for that. Really excited about having Knolly today. We had Gene Frederick last week, and he dropped the heat and really kind of kicked off this new. I've been doing this for about a year, Knolly. I think you knew that, but we're really kind of refocusing it to the people that are really going after their dreams of building RevShare. And I'm opening this up to other lines and other organizations, not just doing it within my own. So we're going to open it up as we go. And I just appreciate you being here. So just real quick, I've known Knolly for years. He's the business healer, that's for sure. From Texas, he's now got an EXP organization, well over 300 people. By the way, congratulations! I saw that milestone, and I've been following that milestone. And it's no small feat. I know from outside looking in, it's like, we can build this to thousands of people, but it's a lot of work. And that's why we're here, right? We're talking about the work, the necessary pieces that go into it. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Knolly and let Knolly take over the mic and talk about, kind of ideally, Knolly, what did it look like coming into the agent attraction piece? What have you learned over time? And just maybe take us through those motions that might be valuable to somebody now or listening to these recordings as we progress to help people really get involved in the freaking gift of RevShare and what it's done for a lot of people.
Randy, it's interesting. It really is a gift, man. It's a life-changing opportunity. And not only does it change your life, it changes many, many lives, generationally, I should say, generationally. I mean, right now I'm in San Diego. Last week I was in Florida for the weekend, St. Augustine. Before that, we were in Vegas for 4 days, went home for a few days. And then, I mean, this is the RevShare life, man, that I'm living. And RevShare makes the dream happen. And so it's so important to take time for it. Just a little bit about my story. I started at RE/MAX. I started in real estate in 2003 when I got my license. And sold over 1,000 homes my first 10 years in the business. So I've been a lister. I started my very first deal was a listing, and that's pretty much all I knew, man. I was never really a recruiter. I was at RE/MAX for 5 years. I became one of the top 7. I was actually ranked number 7 in my city, Austin, Texas, of real estate agents. Austin Business Journal does a list every year, and in 2009. My production ranked number 7 out of 9,800 agents. And that's when I got the call from Gary Keller's office that Gary wanted to meet with me. And so I took the meeting, and it was like a 30-40 minute meeting that ended up going for a few hours. And we hit it off, and he set me up with an opportunity to become a coach and trainer at Keller Williams. So I was recruited to Keller Williams by Gary Keller. I was there. Yeah, I was there for 10 years. And I had a unique relationship with Gary in that, he wrote the foreword to my first book. I could reach out to him anytime I needed to because he personally brought me in. He put me. I worked directly with Diana Kokoska. When she launched Bold, I was in the room, one of the coaches that she presented it to. So I went through the very first Bold class that was ever presented, and I wasn't drinking the KW Kool-Aid. I had it on an IV drip. It was mainline. It was mainlined in. So I was never
Mainline
leaving.
KW
Yeah, I
Kool-Aid.
was. It was for life, man. It's a good thing I skipped the tattoo, but you know, until I'm actually here with Fred Weaver, hanging out this week with his family. And he Kevin Kaufman's my sponsor, and his business partner is Fred Weaver.
Yeah.
And they reached out to me. Actually, it was Fred that reached out to me, and he was like, "Man, you got to check out this EXP." And I was like, "Man, I'm not," and I've known them for a dozen years. I love them, respect them, but I'm like, "You do your thing, I do mine. I'm not interested." And I didn't even want to look at the model, man. I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
And I tell you, once I finally agreed to look at it after continuous pestering.
How long did that take, Knolly? Let's give them some foundation.
Yeah, so I started the first time I was approached about EXP was in 2017. I was at a ClickFunnels conference, and this guy came up to me. He's like, "Man, now you'd be great for, I'm thinking about going to EXP. You'd be great there, yada yada." And I was like, "Man, I'm good, dude." So I shut
Yes.
him down. I
Prior
was,
to Brent, there's only like 400 agents in the company, right?
yeah. Back then there was very few agents back
Yeah.
then. Yeah. And I was good, and that's what you'll hear people say. That's the first thing they're going to say when you start to attract, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I like where I am. I'm good." And so that was me. And so he didn't have too many objection handlers. So I never looked at the model. And a lot of people came to me, Randy, but they tried to attract me the wrong way. Actually, let me just put it that way. They didn't get me to actually look, because if you can get somebody to actually look at the model, it's that's the heavy lifting. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Right.
That's the heavy lifting. And so with Fred, what happened was he was sending the video. We teach now that you don't send the video out. That's a
Right.
no-no. But he sent me the video, and he sent me this pouty face like this, because he was like, "Man, you won't even watch the video." I said, "Man, I'll watch your stinking video, because I already got a thumbs down on it, just so
Right.
I can give it 2 thumbs down and a toe down. I'll watch it. And then I'll just tell you to leave me the hell alone, with this EXP crap." And so, but when I watched it, man, it was just what I realized was that if I stayed where I was, I would be out of integrity. Out of integrity. See, integrity means to be whole, right? And the company that I was with didn't have the whole enchilada, man. They had a piece of it.
Yeah.
They had a nice entree. It's all right, but I was missing the buffet, man. I was missing and I was actually missing the main course, and I didn't know it. So when I saw what was possible with, first I didn't believe it was possible, but yeah. So it was a journey that took about 3 years before
Wow.
I would actually look at it. And even when I saw it, Randy, it took me 100 days to join. 100
100
days.
days to join after you saw it after 2 years.
Yeah. After 2.5 years of people telling me to see it, then when I saw it, it still took 100 days, because I'm high on the SC scale with the
Yeah.
disc, those are the study disc. So I'm very analytical.
You're
I look,
analytical.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I test out as an engineer, whenever they do those tests.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
you have that mind.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
you were also entrenched. You were, like you said, IV drip KW. I was too. I felt that way when I was there. I couldn't even imagine being in another brand in the height of that KW experience.
Right.
So it's not a bad thing about KW. It's just something that was not understood and seen, right?
Yeah, and then from the early days, Gary used to teach that brands don't matter. In fact, he did a white paper back in 2009 that was all about why brands don't matter. And why did he do it? Because back then, Keller Williams didn't have that many agents, right?
Back then, yep.
Yeah. So now it's like, oh, the brand. But
Yeah.
back then, so
Yeah.
it changes with time,
That,
the,
that's a,
the,
that's a,
the
that's a great,
prophecy changes as the times go by, what I'm saying?
yeah, true,
Yeah.
true. I love that. So how many people approached you about EXP in that 2.5 year journey?
I would
I
say at
mean,
least 30, at
oh,
least
is that
30,
right? At
at
least
least
30.
30. Because you
And,
got to understand, I'm a coach and trainer. So I was
yeah.
out there teaching and doing that. I teach, I was
And
brand
EXP was
agnostic.
gaining momentum in that period of time, right? You
Yeah.
joined,
So,
when did you
but
join?
I joined January 1 of 2019.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and January 1. And like you said, man, it is kudos to anybody that has one recruit. Double kudos to anybody that has 5 recruits on their front line FLAs. Because that's hard. I didn't until Curtis Shewell had a come to Jesus talk with me. He was like, man, do you know how hard it is to get 5 FLAs? It's not easy, So and in fact, when I was at Keller Williams, because people say, "Oh, that's Knolly Williams. He can recruit because he's on YouTube, whatever." I mean, when I was at Keller Williams, I was very known, but I recruited 7 people, seven,
Is that
okay,
right?
in 10 years, 7
Wow.
frontline agents.
Isn't
So
that crazy?
I'm not recruiter of the year by any stretch. In fact, if you look at my disc, I suck as a recruiter. I'm not a really good recruiter, by the way. But it's just if you do the simple things, and I actually wrote down a couple of things because Nikita was like, you have to come with 3 actionable items that we can. Like, okay.
My girl.
So I did write down a few things, but if you follow the system that we teach, you don't have to wear a cowboy hat. You don't have to be on YouTube. You don't have to do any of those things, and you can build a brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant, revenue stream for yourself and um, get people over here that need to be here. There's a lot of people that need to be here, man.
That's a true story. And I heard somebody say it the other day, and it's my battle cry. It's like, as I start moving up and having success with revenue share and really starting to see, the life ahead, you could
Yeah,
potentially quit everything we're doing. And I'm more
absolutely.
driven and more fired up than ever. And that's not a power play. That's not a money grab. Right. And
No.
so what really stood out for me, and I forget the leader that said it the other day, but it might have been Mike Sherrard, but he said, I want to freaking do this with people. I don't want to do this by myself. I don't want to be a millionaire by myself. I don't want to have a
Right.
Lambo by myself. I want my people having Lambos and partying with me. And
Right.
that really just opened my chest. That opened my chest. Like that is my battle cry. That is what I want to really hang my beautiful cowboy hat you have on. I want to hang my hat on that because that
Yeah.
is what I feel, right?
Right.
It's I don't want to be ashamed of my success. I just don't want to focus on. I want to focus on having Andrea and Mark and all these other people with me as we're doing this journey together, right? And so
Yeah.
that becomes
It's
the mission.
that becomes it. Yeah, because it's interesting because when I was 29, before I started real estate, I was in the music business. Some people know this about me. And I started that company with $1,800. And by the time I was 28, 29 years old, I was making $150,000 a month in that
Wow.
business, 150 a month. Now this is different kind of money though. See, people don't understand the rev share money is different money. I had 14 employees. I had 18 artists. I had a 10-acre property that had to be maintained, multiple buildings on it. And so that money, I was making 150, but I was spending 160, right? With rev share money, you can like, man, how can I spend this money? I don't even know how to spend it. You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of money, man. And
And,
of
and
course,
it's also residually happening every 30 days, right?
correct,
And so
correct.
I've made a lot of money in my career, and I remember my first 6-figure check, right? And
Mhm.
not like Mark, he gets 6-figure checks every Friday. He's up in Canada. Things are different up in Canada. But I remember that, and it was like hog wild, right? I could always go and just buy this thing that I wanted. And I was moving up that ladder, if you will, getting
Mhm.
material pieces, but I had to go do that shit again next week.
Right. That's right.
And that's really what really change the mentality of investment properties and rentals and these things. And we've talked about that. I had you on my podcast and you crushed it. If you want to follow Knolly on my YouTube, just Google it. And he's on my YouTube channel. We did a great podcast about our hood days and
That's
our
right.
wrap days. And
That's right.
we could do an hour on that by itself.
No doubt. No doubt.
So Knolly, we've got a good group on here, and there'll be 100 that watch the recording that really have an emphasis on wanting to build their organizations. So walk us through that. Walk us through the early days, and you have a couple things that I think are real valuable for the people on the call. You have a texting feature you use that is really powerful, really brilliant. And some other things. Can you walk us through some of that value items that Nikita made you prepare?
Yeah, so I mean, you do have to have tools, but and I have a lot of tools. People use different tools. We heard that Gene uses a yellow notepad, and I was at Gene's house a couple. In fact, let me just throw this out there. We're actually moving to Puerto Rico, my wife and I.
Yeah,
we already bought a house over there. We're closing on it.
Are you really? Where at roughly?
It's in Luquillo. So.
Okay.
It's about 40 minutes or 30 minutes away from most of the folks that are there that are in Las Palmas. Those
I'm in Las Palmas. We have a condo there. We bought.
Oh,
2 months ago.
nice.
2-3 months ago.
Well, Susan's the one that found us this house, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm really happy you're going to be hanging out with us more there.
Oh, you know it, man. You know it. So I just thought I'd throw that in because Gene, he doesn't use any high tech tools, but yet he still crushed it. So don't get hung up on what you have to use.
Okay.
Here's the couple of things that I prepared. Number one, I'm gonna give you 3 things, and actually I have a huddle with Elizabeth Wiley.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna crack the whip on me if I don't. I got to jump on hers in about 12 minutes.
Okay, you got it.
But follow the 4 simple steps. Like if I could tell you what's because we're growing this thing to 42,000 agents. Our rev share group will be 42,000 agents and by 2030. Okay, so how do we get there? Now EXP is going to be over 1 million agents, and if you look at where we are now, we're only 8%. Okay, 8% built out, right? So we got 92% to build this thing, and it's going to be built on the backs of you and me, guys, you and me. So you got to follow the 4 simple steps. Okay. And if you, I'm going to share in the chat, actually a resource that will help you guys in a minute. I'm not going to do it now because they'll be clicking. They'll be gone. They'll be gone. Yeah. But I share the 4 simple steps there. I actually learned this from Brent Gove.
Okay.
Who probably learned it from someone else. The 4 simple steps, number 1, you make a big list. Number 2, you reach out. Number 3, you watch the model explained with them, and then you book them on a 3-way call. Okay. So number 1, you make a big list. Number 2, you reach out. Number 3, you watch the model explained with them, and then you book them on a 3-way call. So it's very simple. Like when I start talking about EXP and somebody's interested, I don't try to explain EXP because EXP is unexplainable. It's very difficult. I mean, it's a 2-hour, 3-hour conversation to try to explain it. Yeah. So what I do is I say, it sounds like you're pretty interested. I'm kind of tied up right now, but let's go ahead and book. Let me look at my calendar. Let's book a 30-minute call just so I can explain more to, or coffee or whatever, if they're local. Let's get together for 30 minutes and let me share with you more about the model, the company.
Okay.
And then they say, yeah, that sounds great. Maybe Friday at 2, that'll work. Okay, Friday at 2. By the way, I'm in a flight path right here. Can y'all hear the airplane?
No, not really.
Oh, you can't hear them? Yeah, these are good noise canceling mics. So then when we get together, I give them the option. I say, you know what? I got to thinking about our meeting together, and for me to explain EXP takes about 90 minutes. And they're like, what, 90 minutes? Yeah, it takes about 90 minutes because I'm long-winded. I like to talk a lot. But my business partner does it in about 30 minutes. And I actually have a video. I just, happen to have a video of him doing the presentation. And would you rather do the 30-minute or would you like me to spend 90 minutes?
I like that.
And they're like, no, let's do the 30-minute. So in other words, you don't say, hey, let's get together and watch a video.
Yeah.
that would be weird. They just say, no, just send it to me. But what happens when you send it to them, they don't watch it, right? So
Yeah.
so you watch the video with them, and then and at the end of the video, I just ask them, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning you'll never join EXP, 10 meaning that you're ready to join now today, where would you say you are? Most people are going to be about a 6 or 7 or 8, whatever. Some people are a 10. I had one guy said he was a 12. So we just
Wow.
went to the
Just immediately.
yeah. So if they're like a 6 or 7, you say, you know what would make it a 10? I learned this from Gene Frederick. What would make it a 10? And they say, well, this, that. Don't try to answer their questions, because remember, you had a 30-minute. Say, let me do this. My sponsor, whoever it might be, my sponsor, Randy Byrd, he he might be able to spare like 10, 15, 20 minutes. If I could get him on a call, would you take that? Oh, yeah, I'd do that. Well, let me look at his schedule right now. Then you book him on a 3-way call right then. Okay. And there's a way that you actually do the 3-way call. Don't worry about that right now. I'll send you, I'll put a link in the chat that shares that. So number 1, follow the 4 simple steps. Okay. That's the way you recruit. Don't try to do it your way. I did that for the first 2 years and it was a failure. Do it the way that Brent teaches. The second thing I want to teach is that you have to make time for agent attraction. You got to make time. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, I started practicing, Randy, back in 2015, or maybe it was 2009. I started practicing the 3-hour workday. Okay. So this is something that I'm actually teaching now. I have a boot camp that we just finished on the 3-hour workday. It's been my lifestyle. People wonder how I travel all the time, but I'm still able to run. I run 3 6-figure businesses. RevShare is one of my businesses that's 6 figures, but I have also do real estate still, and I have a training business. They all make 6 figures, and I work 3 hours a day. So what I tell people is, I'm not going to teach the 3-hour workday here, but it's more of a thing where the 3-hour workday is a concept of making time for your business. We all know that probably 20% of the things that we do on a daily basis are accounting for 80% of our income. Okay, it's the Pareto's principle. In fact, you could probably get it down to, like, on a typical listing, I figured out that there's 46 steps on a listing, but only 6 of them required a license. So what did I do? I delegated the rest of them. You see what I'm saying? So
it's a beautiful statement right there.
Yeah, 91.3% of all listing activities can be delegated. And so that's what I do in order to maintain the kind of, so you got it. So the point is, you got to carve out time block for lead generate, for lead generation, of course, but also for agent attraction, because if you don't, you won't do it. It's got to be on your calendar. You got to time block it and treat it like a job that you would show up for. It's kind of funny, Randy, because I know when I worked at Target and I was on the schedule, back when I was 20 years old, I showed up for work because I was on the schedule, right? And now that we work for ourselves, a lot of times we don't show up for ourselves, and you've got to time block it. You've got to do it. And so that's number 2, and number 3, you've got to study the game. You have to study the game. And to study the game, I put together, this is something that I share with my agents to get them to succeed in the agent attraction game. So if you go to, and I'll just give you the URL because it's not actually typing in right now.
I can type it in for you.
Yeah, Knolly.com. Knolly.com/40.
/40. Knolly.com/40.
Yeah, if you go to that URL, just copy paste it. That should take you to a page that I created for agent attraction. And it's what I basically, it's kind of the rest of the story on it. It goes into the tools I use. It goes into the scripts, everything like that as well. And Knolly.com/40, as in 40 FLQAs.
And that's the direct link to it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with everybody.
Yeah, you bet. So that's, I used to only share it in-house, like to my people, to my peeps. But then I learned at EXP, we have a lot of cousins here, man. I don't want to leave my cousins out.
That's a great way to put it. EXP. I love the way you're really soft approach. You've got that really presentable attitude. And when you were at Keller Williams, you were a force, both in short sales. You were the #1 guy on the planet, probably in short sale training and success. And hopefully we never need you on that again. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully not, man. Hopefully not. Hopefully
kind
that's
of bubbling
done.
though. It's bubbling. We might see it again, but to me, Knolly, there's a lot of takeaways from today, but the big thing is a guy like you is powerful and as many influential people and have influence. It sounds like you still struggled with doing it a little incorrect in the beginning.
Yeah, I did because
Right?
I'm like, man, I'm this Knolly Williams up in here. I'm gonna do it my way.
Exactly.
Fool, what you talking about? You're gonna try to tell me how to,
That's
and so
exactly.
that little street thing, the hood came out a little bit, and it was like, get back in line, son.
Yeah, and follow the people in front of us. Brent, he's the biggest giver, but he keeps it so simple. And every time I talk to Brent, he's on another 3-way call. He's presenting another video somewhere. He's giving more value that we could present, right? So just the 4 steps, make a big list, reach out, watch it with them, underline them, and then book a 3-way call. That is the fundamental. And then little things you might not have caught as Knolly edified the leader that he was calling. Hey, this is Brent. He was the #1 Remax agent. This is why I want to connect you. His time's super valuable. Make sure you're there. All those things are part of that next step, so you don't fumble the ball after the video.
Yeah, I learned how to do it from Casey Giha. And so if you go to that agent attraction page that I put together, the funnel. She's got a video all the way at the very bottom. You'll learn how to do a 3-way call from her. I don't reinvent the wheel, man. This is
that's exactly. And she did it up at the Tahoe Mastermind.
It was brilliant. Very well done.
Yeah, I will put it in here and see if I can copy the link. We'll get the link to everybody. But Knolly, I really appreciate you. Real quick, any questions for Knolly? He only has a couple minutes, and we're going to let him go on to his next thing. We really appreciate
I just texted Elizabeth that I'm on with Randy Byrd. Boy, you better wait up.
Elizabeth is the hierarchy of our organization as well, so we love Elizabeth.
I'm not even in her organization, but
is that right?
I love her. Yeah, she's great. She's great.
She is amazing, and that just goes to show you how the leaders will pour into anybody in the company, and she's a good example. Absolutely. I happen to be blessed to be in her alignment, but still, amazing. So, any quick questions for Knolly as we end the day here? All right, hearing none, they've got everything they needed. So the good thing is we're going to go into an hour of live dials now, Knolly, and I'm going to use exactly your system that we talked about, right?
Nice.
And so building off those fundamentals. And if you have anybody that you want to plug into these calls, you're more than welcome to it. We're opening it up to the other leaders as well, whatever we can do to help. And you're getting some thank yous now. So thank you.
Yeah. If I can help you guys in any way, let me know. I'm here for you. So yeah.
I appreciate you, brother, man. Love you and have a great day down there in San Diego.
Will do, brother.
All right,
love
man.
You guys.
Take care. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it. Thank you, man. Bye. Okay, everybody stay on. I'm going to stop the recording.